Hey, I'm Chase, and this is All Things Random. Today we're looking at 5 security hacks that could save your life either at home or while abroad. Now, let's just say I'm about to go on a vacation and I leave. When I arrive, I find that the Airbnb or VRBO or shady motel that I'm staying at seems a little less safe than it did on the website. Now, maybe I'm a kid or I'm broke and I can't afford to just pick up for the night because I've already invested my money in this location. So I have to buckle down and stay for the night. Now, what could I do preemptively to protect myself from any harm that could occur during my stay? Well, let's hop into those 5 things that could protect you in this new, scary environment. Now, I said before I'm broke and I have to be creative. So I'm going to grab a pack of forks that are under $2, these door alarms that are around $12, and some stick tape for picture hangers because they easily peel off the wall. And last but not least, who doesn't love a good bottle of soda? I'll show you what all of these are for in just a minute. Okay, so here are the items I'm going to be using for these 5 safety hacks. First is going to be the bottle. Second is going to be the fork. Third is going to be these door alarms that are going to include these easily removable 3M stickies. We're going to use this wedge right here I got on Amazon for like $6. It's solid rubber and steel, and my multi-tool that anybody should have if they're traveling. Now, let's break this stuff down. Okay, so we just arrived at our Airbnb. And just like a lot of Airbnbs that are extensions of other people's properties or even additional rooms off the house, this thing hasn't been updated in quite some time. And it uses a hollow door with only a simple push button lock down here at the bottom. Now, I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable if my wife or girlfriend or whoever I was with stayed at this property without having some additional security features. So we're going to start with number 1, and that's the empty glass bottle. Now, why an empty glass bottle? And that's because this offers the first sign of early detection. Now, for me, nobody, to include police, actually try the door handle unless their intention is to enter in. So the first thing I would say to do is to take this glass bottle, flip it upside down after it's emptied and dried, and stick it on top of the door handle. Just like that. And that's because you want to know if someone is trying your door handle or not. Again, this is not going to keep people from coming in, but it's going to give you a warning sign that someone is possibly trying to enter into your room. Now, number 2. Number 2 is going to be a locking mechanism, something else that adds additional safety and security, because this thing, that's not good enough for safety. So we're going to add an additional level of safety, and we're going to build our own lock using a fork. Let's break it down. Now, the first thing you're going to do with the fork is measure it out because you're going to end up putting a 90-degree bend on the fork spokes itself. So go ahead and take a marker, measure it out. Then you're going to take your multi-tool or your hand, and you're going to bend off the neck of the fork until it snaps, until it breaks. Now, we're doing this as if I was already on scene, as if I didn't have a garage or tools, anything other than my multi-tool. So I bent it back and forth until it got hot enough to just snap and break. And finally, when it did, I pulled it apart. Next, you're going to use the multi-tool and bend the prongs of the fork at a 90-degree angle where you mark them. Now, this is going to create a hook that you're going to use to hook on the inside of the door frame where the door latches. Now, there's going to be enough space to allow the fork to set flush along the inside, and those hooks are going to be extremely strong because there's going to be no gap to allow them to bend back. Once you have them all bent evenly at a 90-degree angle, you open the door and stick it in the latch and then latch the door closed. Use the neck of the fork or the body of the fork and you stick it through the center and you lock it in a cross T position. It's actually extremely strong. Next, number 3 is going to be audible alarms, and we're going to put 2 specifically. Now, you can buy these at Walmart for like $12, and you don't have to get them in a pack of 2. You can get them in a pack of 4 or even just individually 1. I'm choosing 2 because I want to put 1 up high and 1 down below. And the reason for that is when someone enters in, then it makes a very loud audible alarm, and I'll show you in just a minute. And what that does is it deters any individual from trying to get in. Now, most people in law enforcement or security background will tell you that most people who burglarize or try to enter into a home or business are stopped because of the Audible Alarm. It brings too much attention to what they're doing. And if you have two, one up high and one down below, then it's very difficult for them to discern exactly where it is instantaneously. They'll be fumbling around and they'd rather just leave. Now, these things are very self-explanatory, and the batteries are already included. With a 3M stick tape, you just stick it to the door, and it peels off extremely easy without any issue. One at the top and one at the bottom. And then you turn them on, and that's it. Super easy to function. Okay, so you can see that after these are mounted, they're mounted with these 3M. It's because when you leave the Airbnb or wherever you're staying, you can just peel it off and they come right off, but right now they're pretty secure. Now with a door frame like this, there's at least a 1/2 inch gap or a 1/2 inch rising from this panel to the door. And because these are magnetic, it gives a little bit of leeway. So even with that, these still work just fine. And let me show you just how loud these are. And this is just one. So you can't tell me that if someone comes in and hears that, they're not going to be spooked and want to turn around and run away. Now, a lot of what we've done so far has been early detection or deterrent. Early detection being the bottle, a deterrent being the alarm. And the only thing so far that we've had to add additional safety with actual security and locking has been the actual fork mechanism until now. I'm going to use this solid steel and rubber wedge and wedge it underneath the door. Now, a lot of times when people stay at hotel rooms or they stay at Airbnbs, they'll use these because there's always a gap in the door, always. Any hotel you stay at, it's never flush along the bottom. There's always a gap. And this allows you to wedge the door in such a way that it's extremely difficult to open. Literally, this is all you do. Last but not least, now you have the door bottle for early detection. You have the fork lock number 2 to allow additional security because it only has a simple lock on it. You have the alarms for an audible deterrent that will bring people's attention to what's going on. And you have the door stop that acts as a second layer of security. Now, if someone is willing to bust through this door, it's because they want to do something bad. So there's only one last thing to do, and that's step number 5, and that is to protect yourself in all means possible. Now, I always say you should carry a multi-tool on you. Well, this multi-tool has a knife on it, and sometimes you don't want to, but you have to defend yourself, either with a knife or bear spray or something else. But it's your life on the line, yours and yours alone. If you stay on a 1-story building, then you should be jumping out the window the moment someone starts trying to come through your door. But if you're on a 2-story or 3-story, then you're stuck, and you have to defend yourself. So if you're not calling 911, which you should have already because the police are on their way, but you should be doing whatever you can to defend yourself, either with this or some bear spray. Now, excuse the audio in the room. It was a little echoey. I couldn't do anything about that. Hopefully, I'll get a better mic in the future. Now, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment of what you would like to see next. I love making these security hack videos. I love making police videos. I also love making watch videos and everything and all things random. That's why the channel is called All Things Random, because I love almost everything. Now, coming up in the future, I have 5 watch brands you've never heard of that you should around the holidays, then a DIY bulletproof backpack and binder that you can make for your kids for under $60 that stop all handguns. In this world of violence, there's never too much protection. So hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I release the next video. Until next time.